fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Ooh.
Alrighty, so we have the rooftop tents on, the canopies on, and now we've got the inside of the tub to do. So I've actually already purchased the drawers, and now what I'm going to do is to take out the stock lining mat and replace it with a false floor that I'm going to make out of plywood and some marine grade carpet. Now the cool thing about the Rogue is that it does come, let's see if I can show you, it does come stock standard with a tub liner, which is marine carpet, and so I've got a similar color carpet, not exactly the same, but I think it's gonna be fine, and a couple of bits of ply. With the false floor, what I'm thinking of doing is being able to remove it. So I do still want to use my ute, and I'm gonna have to move house in a couple of months and be able to utilize the space in the back of my car. See if I can secure my drawers to my false floor and then be able to pull it out, and so I can exchange it for camping setup versus actual setup when I want to use my ute for carrying stuff. I'll show you guys what I've got. So I've got 12mm ply cut into 2 sections. I've got a bit of sandpaper, a knife because I did not have one of those, brushes because use it for the glue, using synthetic grass adhesive because that's what I've seen a couple of people do online, and then pretty much going to use this as a guide. Because I have a prefab tub liner, what I've done is I've just got the nice soft tub liner and I've laid it over my ply. Now I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but this is the way that I'm going to tackle it. Is I'm going to go about 1100, which is where the wheel arches line up, and make 2 pieces. So pretty much all of the drawers, they go up to 900 and something. That will cover and include the almost 1200 mils. This first piece is the main piece, and that's going to be having all my drawers sit on top of it. And so the reason why I couldn't do an all-in-one is that to get this out, you've got the Hilux lights here. And so normally you just like fold that up and it's easy and you can pull it out. Now I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to do it long ways because then I won't be able to actually slide out this entire piece. I'd have to turn it, and with the drawers on it all, it's going to be really heavy. So I'm essentially going to have 4 pieces. One main bit, which is going to have my drawers, the 2 wings, and the back end of it. Because I wanted a removable option, this is how I've just thought it's going to be best. Might not turn out the best, but we'll give it a go. So here's me measuring it and marking it all out with just a pen. If you don't have a prefab guide to go off, obviously you'll need to measure. I'm grateful that I did, because unfortunately I'm the kind of girl who will measure once and cut thrice and keep cutting because I've measured it wrong. I've put some tape on both of the wings to make sure that I've kind of lined up that measure correctly. Alright, so we've got our 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I've just pen marked them, and yeah, I'm pretty much going to cut them all out now and then lay them all in the tub to see if they will fit nicely together. Now I am aware that the carpet's going to add a couple of millimeters. I've kind of done it exact. I'm kind of hoping if I cut it on the inside of the line, shave off a couple of millimeters, hopefully it'll fit nice and snugly all together. It doesn't have to be perfect because it is just the tub floor, and I feel like I can adapt it. I'll make it a little bit bigger and then we'll see if we can shave it down. Let's get to the jigsaw. As you can see here, one of my toxic traits is thinking that my glasses are safety glasses. Don't follow me. Alright, so first piece is cut, and so I've just slid it in here to make sure that it's going to fit for sure. So I do kind of want it as snug up against the corners as I can get. At the moment, I'm going to go in and touch it and feel it and make sure that there's a couple of mils for the carpet. Otherwise, we'll have the 2 wing pieces that sit here, and then the piece at the back. So this piece is fitting quite nicely, and as you can see, it means that I don't, kind of fits in quite perfectly with this, and it means that I won't have to turn it. So for example, if that went all the way there, you've got these gaps that you'd have to navigate, and with a heavy drawer system on that, I don't want to do that. So this is fitting perfectly. After I'm happy with the size, I go through with just a hand sand. The wood's pretty soft, so it was pretty easy to sand back and just make smooth all over. And then I'm on to cutting the other 3 pieces out. Now I did have to go back and keep shaving a bit off each of the wing pieces. Serves me right for doing the whole measure once, cut a billion times method, but we got there in the end. Okay, so a bit of a look at it at the moment. So we've got the main piece in. We've got a back bit, which I'm cutting right now. I'm just waiting for my battery to charge. And then, so we've got the side pieces as well. There's a bit of a gap, which is what I want because there's going to be some carpet in between once they're wrapped, which is going to add a couple of mil. Same on this side, bit of a gap, perfect. And then these are going to nicely wedge and kind of sit together and hold themselves in place, hopefully. I'm considering putting a couple of hinges so you could lift it up and take it all out. But yeah, just the last piece to go and then to wrap them all up. Ideally, I'd be keeping these surfaces nice and clean and not treading on them with my shoes. But as you may have noticed, my mobility isn't that great at the moment as I am recovering from a knee recon. I've taken the naughty, lazy shortcut way and stood all over it with my dirty shoes. If you don't have to do that, probably avoid that so you can keep everything nice and clean. I had an excess of carpet, so I went to Bunnings and asked for 1.5 metres of the marine carpet, and he had 2.4 metres left and probably didn't want to cut it and leave 0.9 metres, so he was happy to give me the roll for a bit of a discounted price. I was really happy to give it a good couple of centimetres overlay anyway, because it ended up having a nice little buffer between the bare ply and the ute tub anyway, which will protect the tub from having scratches. So I didn't film gluing the little pieces, but I pretty much just covered the surface with the turf adhesive and then stuck on the carpet, smoothed it down, pulled each side really taut, and then did some staples really close to the edge, and then I went over and did some staples closer to the outside edge as well, and then trimmed it up with a knife. So I've got a video of me doing the big piece, which was pretty big and pretty massive, and yeah, so far so good in terms of I've had no air pockets or had no pockets where I've had to have where I've been unhappy with. I think the trick is to just pull each side really taut as you go along. So here is the large big one. The glue is really thick, so it took quite a while to work myself around the ply. As you can see as well, I've dirtied the carpet. If I was more particular about things, I'd have given it a wipe down before I've flipped it over and pressed on it, but I am who I am. Whee! Here she is. So, after gluing and then nail gunning the floor onto the panel, we've got the back panel out the back, which is going to be housing my battery, and I'm going to drill some holes down into it. We've got our side panels, and so this can come up, and I also forgot that I actually have Velcro on the bottom of the tracks here, so I didn't bother putting rubber because I feel like it's just not, it's going to be a bit excessive to need. So yeah, the two sides, the main bit, this is where our drawers are going to be mounted on top of, and now we've got a removable floor for my ute.